Hi everyone, my name is Paulina and I'm co-host of this podcast.
Hi, my name is Julia. I'm doing this podcast with Paulina.
So the name of this podcast is Dear Expats. Me and Julia were expats with a different background. And today and every day in our podcasts, we are reading the letters of our subscribers and listeners with their problems or situations or just funny stories from their immigration. And we're talking about this and trying not to give advice, but trying to support and feel what they feel.
Yeah, we try to share our stories as well so that we all feel kind of connected in this immigration circle and it doesn't feel so lonely.
First of all, I ask you to subscribe to our podcast, leave our 5 stars rating and write something on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you are hearing us. This is very important to improve our podcasts and to find us new listeners.
Okay, and let's start with our first letter.
So the first letter is about the problem. I have the same. This letter is from my neighbor, Christina. She's from Italy. The background is we have mice invasion in our house for the last couple of weeks. And it was really hard because it was 2 or 3 days when I've seen mouse every 10 minutes. And I was shout at them and cry. And I had my throat ache and I just can't do anything. In that moment, I decided that I need to move and change apartment. Maybe that's why it was there. But in a couple of days, they just disappeared. But of course, we had these traps and the guy who helped us to fill the holes. And they went to my neighbor, Christina. So this is not a letter, but this is emotional text. So I'll just read it. My feelings are of frustration and disgust, honestly. I hate that we have to deal with them, but to be honest, I think you can't escape them if you live in an old house in Amsterdam. Everyone has them, and I've heard quite a lot of bad stories from other people that had mice on their bad hair washing machine, so we don't even have it that bad. We had someone come and have a look of the holes of the house, and it got better for a while, but they're back again, so I don't think there's anything that helps definitely. It's so cold, and it will only get more in the coming years. The mice will always find a house to live in. You can try and clean everything, but you'll always have a crumb once in a while, and they're always close by, so it is what it is. It's still very disgusting to think about them in our plates, Tupperware, so we close everything as best as possible and clean again and again. I remember a funny story about mice everywhere. I'm happy I haven't found mice in my bed or on my hair, but I heard when people found dead mice in their beds and all this stuff. But my colleague Asya, she's from Russia too, and we're working on the same TV channel, is Russian speaking channel. She rent an apartment a while ago, and she had 2 or 3 neighbors. And once, on Saturday morning, she opened her shelf in the kitchen, and there was bread, a big stack of bread, and a mouse had stuck in it.
Oh my God.
And it was alive.
Oh my God.
So it started to eat the bread from the middle, and then she couldn't go back, and she just stuck. And I sent this Telegram circles, little videos for our friend Dasha, for our colleague too. And I've seen these videos after I found my mice. And okay, it's not so bad in my place because really in Amsterdam, you can find mice everywhere.
I'm wondering if, the bread is considered to be ethical or unethical traps. Because as I know, there are several ways that you can generally catch a mice. And I think that what I've known growing up, you either get a cat or you have this mechanism for mice to catch it by its tail, or you just poison it, I guess. But in the Netherlands, they have the whole new level of these comfortable and ethical traps that you can have for mice. For example, using an ultrasound or...
It doesn't work. I have this one.
Oh my God. So yeah, in this case, maybe you should just leave the bread for a mice to get stuck in it?
Actually, it was funny because we had one mouse in the ethical trap. Actually, it looks like a little cage, so you leave something inside and mouse just coming in. But these 3 days, when they like wall over our apartment, mice didn't come in this trap. We don't know why. So my boyfriend Googled something and he changed this little treat for them, like every, I don't know, like couple hours. So first we had pancakes because he read somewhere that Dutch mice are like lovers of pancakes. Then I was ill actually that week, and I asked him to buy cherry pie from Alberheim. So he put cherry pie in this. After that, he had like some expensive, cool, and stinky cheese. After that, he had a little cookie. So Dutch mice are not hungry. That's what I want to tell about you, because like they just were sniffing it and then go. We've seen how they connect with these traps. So maybe Brad is not fancy enough for them. We don't know, because I think that mice, it was like migration of mice. We read a lot about mice for the last couple of weeks, and when mice are getting like little baby mice,
Okay.
they start to push them away. So they want not to like deal in one territory with baby mice, and they push them away and like find your own place, like go to the university or something. So, and we had a lot of baby mice, and they were really cute and really stupid. So they just didn't understand where are they and can they like go to people or not. And we have this one baby little mice. My boyfriend was really afraid that we killed it somehow, like with an ethical trap or something. And he really wanted to buy a cage and make it a pet. Like after these 2 days of invasion, my boyfriend was sitting by the table and was working. And then he heard this, this sound when you're touching paper bag. So we had this paper bag with water bottles from the delivery. And he just turned around and he saw that little mouse just tapping for this paper bag and just look at him. Maybe he just want to play. And I don't know, maybe we have good mice. They're not hungry. They want to communicate. Maybe this is like, I don't know, like mouse from the future. But that's it, yeah. But I understand totally, Christina. It's really, really, really hard to feel when your home is not only your home. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I guess it's not even about, the mice. It's more about the invasion of your personal space that you feel. Because especially in immigration, normally your home is the only place that you have this total control of. I mean, I certainly felt so much better when I rented my apartment and I moved from the students' hotel that I've lived in, and I could decorate it the way I wanted and I could really make it my space. And I don't know, for me, it feels like it's not even the fact that it's so. Yeah, I think it's very important to have something of your own when you are in this new context of the new country, where you can actually forget about being in immigration, because that's something that I feel when I'm at home. It's just like my space. It could be on the whole other planet, but as long as I have this little corner of stability and control, I feel just a lot of more support in my life.
So I want to support Christina. I'm with you. I don't want these mice to come back from my place. So I'm with you, but not so much. And I don't know. I wish everyone in Amsterdam will not face it, and especially you, Julia. So the second one, Katerina, she's living in Amsterdam for 2.5 years. She's 23 years old and she moved abroad after high school when she was 17. Over the years, I've been having a similar line of persistent thoughts surrounding how life in immigration opens up a vast space of possibilities. So many cities to live in, countless opportunities around, and endless paths to choose from. The freedom to reinvent yourself comes with the challenge of navigating uncertainty, making decisions without a clear roadmap. How do you find your way in a world full of options? You want to start?
Yeah, I know Katerina personally. We've met about half year ago here in Amsterdam and quickly became friends. And I think that it's the topic that we discuss between ourselves a lot. Maybe it's something that we even bonded over. I don't know if it's like an age that we are both of approximately same age, or just the stage of life that we are in. But I feel this way too a lot. I mean, especially when you graduate from the university here, they like to tell you about these endless opportunities, about the necessity of making an impact, of going out there, starting building, starting, changing the world, basically. And then you look at your peers from the university who actually go and do something like that. I see people from my program starting their own companies. I see them join some investment firms or some fastly growing startups. And I kind of can't help but feel, this fear of missing out about it. And I don't know, I also get frustrated by these options that I have, especially because living in Europe, it also feels a lot more international. People who work in local companies, they travel a lot, they go constantly in between European countries to the States, to the United Kingdom, and then you just like sit and you think what should your next move be, and you just don't understand how to make it. And also for me, immigration brings the sense of gravity to these decisions. Like it's something more radical than if it was happening in the context of your home country. I don't know, and I don't have an answer actually how to deal with it.
We talked about this before, honestly, and I told you that I think that for me, it's not about immigration. It's about like quarter life crisis, like about the first crisis when you met after you finished your university, and actually you've done all the program you were up to, like finish your school, your university, your masters, and now like you are free from your parents. You have your first money. I don't know, like maybe you have your relationships, like you have everything that you basically like need to have on from the society. And now we think, okay, so what's next? What I need to do? And when you're looking that everybody's studying your startups, like I'm not from business, I'm a journalist, and I'm Russian speaking journalist in Europe. I don't have a lot of opportunities to work here, not like in the coffee shop or in the grocery store. And I don't see that people around me are doing some great project. That's maybe why it's a little bit easier for me. But I think I felt totally the same when I was 25 and I was in Moscow. I remember that I left my job because of personal conflict, and it was really, really hard for me because I love this job. I was a TV producer on reality shows and like the biggest entertainment TV channel in Russia. It name's Friday on English. And it was really hard for me. And after that, I broke my leg. I was 25. I couldn't walk. I have no job. I have no ideas what I'm gonna do. And it was hard actually, but it wasn't about immigration for me. It was about like quarter life crisis. And it was a really hard year for me also. I'm trying to invent some advice, but I think crisis it's so personal and you don't know what will help you. Maybe it will be some advice or maybe some coach or maybe your friend, or maybe just something happened and you understand what you want to do right now and you will leave your job or you will find your startup, or maybe you just find the thing which will give your life, I know, like more shininess on like some sparkle or something. So I'm really, really sorry for you, girl, that you feel this because it's really, really hard. And I think immigration is not the reason, but this is one of the things that making the situation worse. But I can just say you like be strong. That's it. Just be strong and be careful and kind for yourself. That's it.
But does it become clearer from your experience, or do you just get used to, this uncertainty and ambiguity of?
I think I became more fatalistic. Do we have this word in English? Fatalistic?
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
Determinist? No, yeah, fatalistic would
so,
be
okay, I use
good.
fatalistic. You can write us if I'm wrong, but this is something that you think that we have fate or God or universe that will control everything in your life. I became fatalistic because I think that it's easier to live like this. Because when I come around, we don't know what will happen tomorrow. Maybe you need to come to your hometown or your home country. Maybe you need to go to, I don't know, UK and start a new work. Or maybe you'll meet a guy and you understand, wow, I need kids right now with him. And he's from Australia and you just moved to Australia. I think in years, I'm trying to trust life and trust people around me and trust my work. And I'm trying to believe that the place where I'm right now is the best place for me. And I think it's easier to leave because you don't even know will it be better if you'll be another place. Of course, you can change it, but I'm not sure that you should change something in crisis because you can do a lot of mistakes. I love mistakes, but you can hurt yourself. And I think that thing what we should, not must, but should avoid to hurt yourself.
Yeah, trust in the process sounds like the only path to go.
We have our third letter, not letter. We're talking about the things which was bothering us for last weeks, for the time we didn't record our podcast. So now today's your turn, Julia. How are you? What do you feel in your emigration for last weeks?
Yeah, I think that it would be a bit of continuation of the previous topic. But I think what I've discovered going through immigration is that particular type of anxiety, and I'm not new to anxiety. I felt it pretty much all of my life. But this new kind that I've discovered for me is this sense of like physical unrest that you feel sometimes if you start overthinking the fact that you are in the country where you live on a very weak basement, because your residence permit is normally very temporary until you get the citizenship or the permanent right to reside. And you have to renew it, I guess, every year or every several years. And as this time approaches, you kind of start getting these invasive thoughts like, what if something goes wrong? What if you lose the job that provides you with this right? Or what if you don't find something new in time? What if you have to move again? But I feel it basically comes down to the question, what if you wouldn't be able to wake up in the same bed that you've been falling asleep today, tomorrow? And this is kind of this, existential fear. I don't know. It kind of occupies your mind, and it worsens the quality of life that you have, definitely. And I haven't found a solution to deal with this anxiety. Normally, I just wait until it passes.
Or a fiction marriage?
Yeah, but as a well, yeah, you have a problem. Fictional marriage.
Yeah, but when did it start? Because I don't know. This sounds like crisis problem, not documents problem. But when did it start? I haven't heard from you this problem like all the time.
It comes
what happened?
It comes and goes. I mean,
so what was the trigger for the last time?
I think that maybe now that I am in this like transitional period, I have this in Netherlands. They have this orientation year permit, the one that you get after you've finished your studies, and it's basically gives you a year so you can freely explore the market or you can work and stuff. But after that, you have to either start a company or get unemployment or fictional marriage, or we're not giving this advice, or
Why? We're giving this advice.
I'm not giving this
Is
advice.
it illegal?
I think it's illegal.
Okay, sorry.
Or anything, but it's like this timer that you have on making that decision. And just, when the studies, you have this particular plan that, for example, for 2 years or for 1 year, you do your program and then you can get a search here. So it's kind of gives you a longer time horizon. And in this case, just because you know that this process of renewing your permit is approaching, and I've been doing it for past, I guess, 2 years, you just start thinking rationally and irrationally what could go wrong. And the fact that you can lose the life that you've built, even like the slightest possibility of it, it kind of becomes this recurring thought that you have. I don't know. So I think that's the fact that, coming back to the trigger point, the fact that I have this symbolic search year coming to an end, it makes me question like my future a lot.
But have you ever met the same situations when you're like out of documents or you need to move or something like this?
I mean, I was moving from Italy to Netherlands. I was changing the university. So basically, I had to either renew my Italian visa or get a Dutch permit. It was kind of similar, I guess.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. You'll solve it if you have this problem, and maybe you need to trust yourself a little bit more, and that's it. I don't know. I don't want like to say just trust yourself. Okay, just trust the life. Of course, I understand it's really hard, and maybe this like transitioning here. It sounds like really symbolic. I understand you totally, but maybe we can come back to this theme in the next podcast, and we'll see how it's going on inside you, like in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I try to reflect on my past experiences to get strength totally. But I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's always so secure when you think about the past and you forget all the worries that you've had. And then with the future and your present worries, it just becomes a bit overwhelming. But I'll definitely keep you posted how it goes.
Yeah, write us if you have the same problem. I think it's really common in people's life who just moved somewhere. So you can send us a letter to the email. I will leave the link below in the description. Please give us rates and reviews and all this stuff, and share this podcast with your expert friends. This is really important for us. My name is Polina.
My name is Julia.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for staying with us.
Yeah, thank you.